Now, I think a lot of us fall for this age trap. And when I say age trap, I think that a lot of us just think that, well, I'm at this age now. Well, it's too late. I'm too old to want to develop or progress into another job or go back to education or something like. We all fall for this scam where we think that our age ties into our capabilities. And I think that physically, yes, we do age. We do have a body clock. But I think that not everybody can be judged on, well, you're 30 years old, you shouldn't be training to be a doctor or whatever. Like, we all think that just because we're at a certain age that we're incapable compared to when we were back at 18 or something, just beginning life, barely beginning adult life. But this is the thing, like, when does adult life begin? And that is a very open, broad question because I guess that adult life begins at different ages to certain people. Some people feel like they're only just beginning to feel like an adult when they turn 30 or somewhere in like 35 or something. So, typically I think that a lot of us are hard on ourselves and we think, well, we should have achieved this by this age and X, Y, and Z. And this just simply is not a great way to think about your life because if you think about your life compared to somebody else who may or may not have had it easier or they might have had it harder or whatever, then you just setting yourself up for failure and you comparing yourself against unrealistic standards. Someone else's life has got no relevancy to you whatsoever, because life isn't it's not a race. You start life and you start on your own terms and conditions. You don't compare yourself to other people because everybody has qualities and we all have advantages and disadvantages. We all have something that we might be doing better than someone else that we don't know. We don't know people's life story. And if you think that you're doing better than yesterday and the year before and or last week, whatever, and like credit yourself where credit is due. If you're doing a lot better than you were doing last year, that's something. Because there's some people out there who literally just don't want to progress and they don't want to get out of a rut and they don't want to be better. They just want everything the same. And unfortunately, in order to get better, you've got to be open and admit what you're not doing, and things usually get worse before they get better. And you might think, well, I've got to start from zero now, from scratch. I might be homeless. I might have less money. I might have to give up X, Y, and Z. I might have to do all this. But to be honest, that that shouldn't really matter. Yes, it does. But if you're going out on a whim to get better, and maybe you're putting all your eggs into one basket and you're investing all your money into something, or you're spending a lot of your money to be able to get your new upcoming business to where it needs to be, then that's something you just have to do. And life is all about taking risks. And it's true, like, life does have to get worse before it gets better. I think that with some people who don't have to go through that, but for most of us, that is the case. It'd kind of be shit if if life gets better before it gets better. Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, we can't all start from a great starting point. We just have to start where we start, and we just have to think in the present. If we all completely was thinking in the past all the time, we think, well, we should have done this at a certain age, nothing will get done, and we will stay in the past. We will constantly stay in that past. So you can't be hard on yourself. You've got to be like, you know what, I fucked up back then. I can't change it, but I can change for now. I can change me as a human being right now. So then you automatically exit that fucking trap of, like, you get out of the cycle. Comparing yourself is the thief of joy. It really is. Self-comparison is the thief of joy. And you can't be like, well, they must have had it easy, or he or she, they've got a great life, but you don't know what we've had to do to get there. You don't know the life story. There's some people who are just in a privileged position, might be born into wealth or whatever. They might have got lucky and fucking found a winning lottery ticket or whatever. But I genuinely think that going through hard times, going through some pain and suffering and just working your ass off really does pay off. And I also think that instead of always thinking about the end product, like if you're going to start something now and your mindset isn't there, you're just thinking about, well, maybe if I just do this for a week, then I'll get 100k in the bank, more fast, easy cash. You're not enjoying the process. You're trying to skip everything. You're trying to get to level fucking 100 before you even complete level 1. Like, that's what sets you up for failure, because in order to get somewhere, you can't just skip the levels. You've got to go through the levels. You've got to complete each and every mission. And each and every mission teaches you something. It's like, if you want to set up a cafe, well, level 1 would be, I don't know, maybe it might be learning to bake, learning to and customer service, all the basic skills to be a good cafe owner. You've got to have the customer service. You've got to have the knowing how to do your own tax. And it's all about the finances, and so, and everything else comes with the job. Learning how to treat people as an individual and treating your loyal customers differently to, like, it all comes with the job. So, and then maybe they might be a level fucking whatever, 20 or whatever, and that might be, I don't know, learning to protect yourself against scammers. So, I genuinely think that the people who want shortcuts in life are the ones who are just setting themselves up for failure, because they just want it easy. They just want a fast track ticket. They want a fast track to the top. And unfortunately, you can't have that. And I think that if we stop comparing ourselves and we just work harder and we just think, you know what, I am in the best position right now because I am aware and I'm more mature than ever than somebody who, like, this is another thing. You can't automatically think that just because you're older than someone and you're more experienced and you've got less, maybe you've got more years in front, you've got more years behind you than in front of you or whatever, compared to someone who's fucking 17, 18. You can't be like, well, they're just going to be better at this job, or whatever, because it's not a realistic way of thinking. We're all just people at the end of the day. We're all just people at the end of the day who just want to do the best for ourselves. This is what I like to think. Generally speaking, I think there's more people who just want to live their life in peace and just worry about their own fucking shit. They don't want to worry about other people, And I think that part of life is people worrying about, well, oh, I don't have this yet. I don't have my driving license yet. I'm 30, or I may as well just give up on the idea of getting my driving license, or I may as well just give up on the idea of going back to college to get a certain degree or whatever, going back to university. because we think that, well, this should have all happened back in our previous years, but we're all just living right now. And if you are living right now, there's nothing stopping you from putting in the work to go back to university and completing what you dropped out on or whatever. Like, we all just get brainwashed into thinking that this should have happened a long time ago at this age. Now we need to just be like, well, you know what? You need to settle for whatever comes your way. You should just get a job. You shouldn't have to think about getting a career no more. Maybe, like, you should have got everything out of the way back when you were 16 or whatever. And this simply is a load of fucking bullshit. Because we're all human beings. We all have the opportunity to improve ourselves. Nobody is better than anybody else. We all are way too fucking egotistical right now, more than ever. We all like to judge other people and be like, you know what, you're an old dog now and you can't be taught new tricks, and you're old, you're a boomer. And it's not the case. And now more than ever, with science and health and people taking care of themselves more now, and the awareness of what you should be eating. I mean, I find it very fascinating that there's some 70-plus-year-olds that have a better physique and a better way of thinking and living than some fucking teenager that is at the beginning of their life. And this is another reason why I think you cannot judge a book by its cover. Because there are more hard-working senior citizens who want to actually still make a change and want to learn something new than somebody at the beginning of life who literally just think, well, I should just be handed everything. Oh well, it's all about fun. Everyone wants to have fun these days, but they don't want to put in the hard work first and then have the fun. A lot of people have this mindset now where life is, the place where we just live is a fucking playground. And right now, the age spectrum usually right now for the people who just think, well, I should just be allowed to have fun without any consequences of my actions, of all these fucking youths. And they all think that, well, the shit doesn't stink and the world revolves around them, and it simply isn't. It doesn't revolve around you. You're not the best thing since sliced bread. You're nothing. And I don't mean that in a nasty way. I mean, like, you're not better than anybody else. You're just one of us. You're just a human being. You're just a human being like the rest of us, who's just a little less experienced, who needs to learn when to shut the fuck up. And yeah, and I think that applies to all of us. If we all had a balance of ego and humanity, the world would be a lot better place.